In this episode, I'm gonna go over 25 autoimmune paleo or AIP diet friendly snacks. All right, before I get into the snacks, I just have to show you. So Halloween's next week when I'm recording this video. And yesterday with my son, I was watching the Art for Kids Hub, and they showed you how to make this, right? So it's a cute little monster, and then blah, cute little monster, and then blah. And I just wanted to mention it because sometimes we get a little uptight about stress relief and how we like meditate or, you know, all of these things that are typical stress relief. And doing something like this was so much fun and I felt so good afterwards. So if you have kids, or even if you don't have kids, just something like you learn how to draw this and then color it. It was so much fun and I loved it. So I just want to encourage you to try different things like that instead of just maybe the typical things that we think of for stress relief. I'll put the link below for how to get to this in case you want to try it too. All right, so on to the 25 different AIP snacks. Now, if you want a printable list of this, I do have it in my Paleo freebie library. So I'll put the link for that below as well. And just go to the link and you can sign up to get the password. So number one are olives. And when you're getting olives, make sure that you look at the ingredients and then it doesn't say anything other than like olives, water, and sea salt or salt. Citric acid and some of those other things can be derived from corn, so you kind of want to avoid them while on AIP. Two of the brands I have, this Lindsay brand, which I get at Costco, and the Santa Barbara olive one, which I've seen at Whole Foods. I think I may have gotten this at my local Kroger, Natural Grocers. I think most of the stores have these. One of the things with olives though that you want to avoid are olives that have pimentos in them, because pimentos are nightshades and we avoid nightshades on AIP, so don't get these, or if you get these, remove the pimentos, but I worry a little bit about cross-contamination at that point, so really try to avoid these if possible. Number two is coconut butter. I like this Nutiva coconut manna. Coconut manna, coconut concentrate, coconut butter, they're all the same thing. Just, I don't know why they have so many different names, but they do. And it's like very, I don't know if you've ever seen the AIP video of me from day one where I'm like, it kind of is like that when you eat it, but it's good fat, and I like to drink it. I like to eat it straight out of the jar because it tastes good to me and it's a little sweet. So especially on the first few days of AIP, or even like a Whole30 where I'm trying to lower my blood sugar, not make it spike so much. I really like to have this after a meal to kind of give me that little sweet taste, but also a little bit like a hit of fat to help me feel satiated until the next meal. Number three are Jerky Bars. Now you're gonna have to look at the ingredients in these to make sure that they have no non-compliant spices. So anything that says spices typically includes paprika, which would be out. So most of the bars that you may find in the grocery store are probably not going to work, but the Epic bars, there's several of them that are AIP compliant, like this salmon and smoked maple one is, and this beef and apple one is as well. Both of these are fine, and they're great to throw into a bag, backpack, or something to take with you because they last for a long time and they're great emergency protein. Number four are plantain chips. I like these Inca chip ones because they're really thick and they're really good to dip into, like a dip like guacamole that you make. But there's also some other brands like Terra Chips actually just came out with some that are great. And I think there's one other brand and I can't think of it offhand. But just make sure, again, the ingredients are mainly just plantains, salts, and maybe coconut oil. Number five are sweet potato chips. I don't have an example with me, but Jackson's Honest makes a good one that's compliant because it's just coconut oil and sweet potato chips. And I believe there are some other brands that are coming out with ones that are coconut oil as well. So again, this is just like, in all of these that I'm going to be mentioning, I'm not going to say it over and over again, but just check the ingredients, make sure that they're compliant, because you can get a completely not compliant brand of sweet potato chips and you can get a compliant brand. So just learn to read labels and you'll be fine. Number six are cassava chips. I like this Artisan Tropic brand. These are good, salty, like a great replacement for potato chips. I like these because they come in these individual bags too, and they make a great portable lunch kind of side. So like every time we went on picnics, hiking, all of those kind of things, I usually would bring one of these, and it was great, but it's also a nice snack option. Right, number 7 is kombucha. You can buy it in the store. Make sure that you're not gonna get something that's too sugary, but you can also make it on your own. And that's what I do. I have a continuous kombucha brewer, and then I like to infuse my own flavors into it, like ginger or chai spice or something like that, to really kind of make it my own. But you can do it whatever you want. It's a great probiotic beverage, and it really kind of gives you that feeling that you're having soda. So if you're like a soda addict, it's a great way to kind of transition off of that. Number 8 is prosciutto. You can typically find prosciutto in most grocery stores, which is great. So if you need some emergency protein because you're out and you are, at Target or something like that, and you just need something, go and check the meat aisle. Again, check ingredients, but typically prosciutto is the meat and salt, and it's just, there's not much else to it. So it is a good compliant snack and some protein to kind of make you feel good. I like to pair it with some avocado and olives to really kind of round out the meal. Number 9 are porquitos. I will link to the recipe below, but this is one that Nom Nom Paleo came up with, and it's prosciutto that you bake in the oven until crispy, so they kind of taste like chips, and they're so good. Number 10 is a roasted acorn squash. You cut this in half, roast it in the oven at like 425 for about 25-ish to 30 minutes, and then you add some coconut butter, some cinnamon, maybe some mace, and some sea salt, and it's good. We have this as a side a lot with our dinners, but it also makes a great snack. Number 11 is an avocado. You can eat this just like maybe sprinkle some salt and lime on it, or make it into a guac. You can't have the cumin and stuff as a typical guac, but you can make a guac easily by mashing it up with some lime, some garlic powder, some cilantro, and sea salt, and it's really good. Number 12 is just a bunch of veggies. You could have some celery, carrots, radishes, broccoli, just any of these kind of things. Do be careful if you're having these every single day and you have thyroid problems, that you don't have broccoli all the time just because of the goitrogenic properties. It's not necessarily a problem if you have them every so often, but if you have it every single day, it could start to become a problem. But and then this is just raw. But if you have them roasted or something like that, no problem whatsoever. Number 13 are pork rinds. I like this from US Wellness Meats because it's completely compliant. It is just pork rinds, I think, pork skins. You can get them in the grocery store too, but again, check ingredients, because sometimes they put a whole bunch of flavorings on them to make them like nacho cheese flavor or something, and you don't want those. You just want ones that are gonna be just basically the pork rinds and maybe some salt. Number 14 is some mashed cauliflower with some coconut oil. This was one of my most favorite kind of comfort foods when I first did AIP, just because I love the feel of mashed potatoes, and so it's like mashed, it's like a full, I don't know, you can get your teeth into it kind of thing. So I like this one as when you're really hungry and you just need something. Number 15 is some additive-free bacon. There are plenty of bacons that are AIP friendly. I believe Applegate Farms makes one, US Wellness Meats as well, and there's a whole bunch of other ones. But just make sure there's not added nitrates or nitrates and just other things, spices again. But a little bit of sugar on AIP is not necessarily as bad as, say, you do a Whole30, you need to have the sugar-free bacon. It's not that important in this particular situation. But if you can skip the sugar and get something like the sugar-free US Wellness bacon, then that's great too. Number 16 is one of my favorites, and that's just small portions of leftover food. So say you made a dinner and you don't have really enough for a lunch for leftovers, you can just have a small tiny portion of it as your snack. And this is really kind of the best way to snack because you're probably gonna get complete proteins and carbohydrates and fats and everything all in this tiny meal. So it's gonna really kind of satiate you and fill you up and give you all of the nutrients and everything that you need. So that's the most recommended thing to do, is to do small portions of little meals. Number 17 are sardines. Again, make sure there's nothing not AIP in it, but these are really, really good for fats, and they're just nutritional powerhouses. They give you so much good stuff for your brain and for your skin and all of that kind of stuff. So if you are kind of hesitant to try these, try it, because you may really like them. I used to watch my dad eat these and I hated the smell, and I couldn't even no, there was no way whatsoever. And then I tried them a couple of years ago and I realized I actually love them. My kids love them so much that they actually ask for them almost every day when they come home from school, and they want them with chocolate chips. Not quite sure of that combination, but hey, Don't knock it until you've tried it. That's what I have to say about these. Number 18 are coconut flakes. You can get just plain coconut flakes in the store and then you can toast them yourself. And I have a recipe for that on my website that I'll link to below. And these Dang coconut chips, these are just the sea salt ones. These are compliant, so you can buy these in the store. Dang makes a whole bunch that are not compliant, so make sure you look at that, but just the sea salt ones are fine. Number 19 is a cup of bone broth. This is one of the things I do every single night. I just heat bone broth up that I've made at home into a pan, and then I add some sea salt, and then I just drink it. Number 20 are tiger nuts. Again, tiger nuts are not nuts, they're tubers, so they're AIP compliant. These are the sliced ones, but they have whole ones too that you can kind of snack on. These I have made into a granola before, these sliced ones, and that has been delicious too. I put a little bit of coconut milk on top of it and make it into like a cereal. It's a good one for like if you're on a hike. I did that while backpacking, and oh, that was one of my favorite snacks I had while backpacking. Number 21 are seaweed snacks. Again, make sure the ingredients are compliant. There's no soy sauce or anything in them, but there's a lot that are just sea salt. 22 are mashed sweet potatoes with a little bit of coconut oil and cinnamon, and this is a great kind of warming dish, especially if you are really hungry and you want to have something, or you're working out a lot, then like you might need a little bit more carbs. So this is a delicious, especially like fall, winter kind of snack. Number 23 is smoked salmon. And again, check for ingredients, but this one's, you know, great. Get your seafood in and it's delicious. Number 24 is dried fruit. Now I'm gonna caution you with this one that you use this sparingly. If you have something like this is the Bear Apple Crunches. These are ones you can get these, like I've seen these at Target and stuff. They're just small little things and they're great to take with you if you have to go somewhere. These aren't necessarily as bad as like the actual dried fruits, like dried apricot. You can have them, just don't have a ton because it's kind of the closest to nature's candy as you can possibly get. So it will raise your blood sugar and you kind of want to avoid that as much as possible. If you are gonna have it, I would do it more in a situation like if you're going on a long hike or bike ride or some sort of thing where you're really gonna kind of work hard. And then I would also pair it with some sort of fat or protein. So maybe some dried apricots or figs or something like that with some coconut chips and some olives or, you know, something like that. Like just something to kind of complete it out. So you're just not having sugar. And with the same thing, number 25 is fresh fruit. And again, same kind of thing. Dried fruit's a little bit worse just because it's concentrated and you can eat so much of it at one time. You're not gonna eat like 45 bananas, but you could eat like quite a few dried apricots or raisins or, you know, any of those kind of things in one sitting. So just be cautious of it. So I'm not saying don't have it, just I would have it with something else to kind of help your blood sugar so it doesn't just spike. All right, that's it. That's by no means a comprehensive list of every AIP snack you can have, because there are more, but that's just 25 ideas. So hopefully that will get you going and get you out of that panic mode when you realize I am starving, I am on AIP, and I don't know what to eat. So again, you can get that printable. It looks like this in my Paleo freebie library. I will link to it below so that way you can sign up to get the password and you'll have access to that and all the other stuff in my Paleo freebie library. So that's it for today. Make sure you like this video and subscribe if you want to see more, and I will see you next time.